Hi students, and welcome to today's live IELTS class. My name is Adrian and I am streaming to you from beautiful Victoria here on the west coast of Canada. I hope everybody is having a great week so far, staying healthy and staying productive. Welcome Maria, hi Nisa, hi Otabek. Hello, Shireen. Thank you for the wishes, Nisa. Welcome, students, to this class. This is an IELTS reading section class. We're going to talk about what you need to do to get all of the answers correct. This lesson is presented to you by aehelp.com for academic IELTS success. Visit us there for the general IELTS. Check us out at gieltshelp.com. That's general IELTS help.com. On both of those websites, we have lots of help for you for the reading as well as for speaking, listening, and writing sections of the IELTS exam. We have over 100 hours of video lessons in HD, fully interactive course, original practice exams, a fully integrated app. This is the academic IELTS website here at aehelp.com. You just need to click that big red button to join the premium package. It's a one-time payment for lifetime access, so it's well worth it. We help thousands of students every day. We are an official British Council IELTS registration center and certified agents. The general IELTS website looks like this with the green background. You can click that big red button to join us there. Hi Ken, hi Deepika, good to see many of our members in the class as well. Hi Rashika. Again, we do have apps. So you can get our app, Academic IELTS Help, link it to your aehelp.com account, or you can get the app, General IELTS Help, and link it to your gieltshelp.com account. And you can follow us on Instagram, IELTS_AEHelp or GIELTS Help. And if you have questions, just send me an email to adrian@aehelp.com. All right, we've got more classes for you tomorrow and on Saturday, so make sure to tune in for those. On Saturday, members, we will have a question and answer session for you, so prepare your questions for that. Akhil is asking, is Duolingo accepted for fall 2022? Akhil, I don't generally recommend Duolingo for your entrance exam. It's much more limited than IELTS or even more limited than TOEFL, so be careful with that. You might be surprised when the university does not accept it as your IELTS, or sorry, as your English proficiency requirement, so careful with that. Okay, everyone, so today we are looking at this reading passage. This is our 5th exam from our general IELTS exam, and it's a section 3 passage. Students, general IELTS section 3 reading is basically the same as academic reading passages. So keep that in mind, whether you're studying the academic or the general. In our books and in our exams, we have reading audio as well, so you can actually listen to a native English speaker read the text. So use that if you have access to our materials on our websites. So here we have this title. The first step to a good reading strategy is to read the title, The Rise and Fall of Lance Armstrong. And then here we have a picture of Mr. Lance Armstrong. And it looks like he's into biking. He's got a bike helmet on, okay, biking jersey or uniform. All right. Good. So when you read the title, before you do anything else, think critically about it. So look at it and think about, okay, well, based on this title, what is this passage likely about? Artist says, Lance Armstrong is a road racing cyclist, maybe the most famous one of all time. Yeah, so step one, everyone, is always to read the title and think critically about it in order to predict the contents of the passage. Okay, and at home, you must write this down. During your official test, do this mentally. Okay, so meaning in your mind. All right. So here we have this, the rise and fall of Lance Armstrong. What do you think that means? So what might it mean, the rise and fall of Lance Armstrong? Lance Armstrong is clearly this person. He's a cyclist. The rise and fall, what does that mean, the rise and fall? What do you think the author is referring to in this case? Lucas is saying you should probably ask yourself what, why, how about the passage. So exactly, Lucas. So here I would be asking myself, what does this mean, rise and fall of this cyclist? Okay. So, or you could say another question like, what is this about? It is about a famous road cyclist, Lance Armstrong. Sure. And what does it mean, the rise and fall of this cyclist? Okay. Welcome, Carolina, our moderator. Good to have you in the class. Deepika says it means the start and end of his career or fame. Yeah, Deepika, I like it. So it may be referring to the start and end of his athletic career and fame. Okay, sure. Rashika says maybe the success and the failure of his life. Very good. Teniola's show says the success and failure. Shahil says the ups and downs of his career. Very good. Yeah, so very good. Okay, why? So why is he successful and why might he be a failure? Okay, so if now we jump to the why question or the how questions, what are your answers for this? So why might this cyclist Lance Armstrong be successful and why might he have a failure? Okay, so think about this, or how does this happen in a person's career if they're a famous cyclist? Okay, come up with that. Welcome, Pachu Yadav. Good to have you in the class. So get into more details. The idea of good inferencing means educated guessing or assuming of the passage, is to go into detail. Okay, it's to get into the specifics. Most people will come up with general ideas like success and failure, but it's those readers who can come up with these kind of specific inferences that will do much better and read much faster. Okay, Hoang Yuan says maybe he used some forbidden drugs. Okay. We wouldn't say forbidden, but banned drugs. Yeah, so used banned drugs. And we will often say sports enhancing. So used banned sports enhancing drugs. Yes, very much possible. Anurza says he maybe failed because of his family background. Success because of his dedication. Yeah. Yeah, possible for sure. Okay. Mirzan says maybe he used steroids. Yeah. That's another name for those banned drugs. Ken says maybe he disrespected some people. Maybe. Okay. Mario says maybe some kind of injury. And I think you're on the right track there as well. Arda says doping. Doping is the one encompassing verb for doing sports enhancing drugs. Yes, doping. Okay, very good, Arda. So that's the definition. Okay. All right, so yeah, very good, very good. So those are some good predictions. All right, now we're on the right track. So when you read this kind of a title, again, The Rise and Fall of Lance Armstrong, that's what you should be thinking. And at home, you should be writing all of this down. In your official IELTS exam, you should be thinking about this quickly in details in your mind. And this is a reading passage, everyone, so make sure to read with me here, okay? All right, let's keep going. So now the next step is to look at the questions and see if we can get a little bit more information. So here it says, choose no more than 2 words and or a number from each from the text for each answer. So this is a short answer question series. Okay, so you have to give just brief answers from the passage. All right, so all of this information is somewhere in the passage. All of these questions will be in the passage, not in the same way, okay? They will be in a statement form, and they will likely be paraphrased, so maybe using some different words, okay? So here, what you want to do at home, while you're practicing this, is you want to paraphrase these. So number 28, in which city did Armstrong participate in the Olympic Games? So Armstrong took part in the Olympics in this city. Okay, so at home, I'm doing this on paper when I'm preparing for the IELTS exam. During the official IELTS exam, I'm doing this mentally, I'm doing this in my mind, nice and quick. So I'm changing the question into a statement, and I'm doing as much paraphrasing as I can quickly. So Armstrong took part in the Olympics in this city, okay? In which city did Armstrong participate in the Olympic Games? By doing this, you will be much faster to recognize the answer in the passage, okay? So step 2, and again, this is more strategy here, everyone, for your reading. Okay, so keep that in mind. We're not just doing this for fun. Okay, so more strategy. Read the questions, only ones that have information contained in the passage. Okay, and for short answer questions, this is what you want to do. Change the question to a statement and paraphrase, meaning use your own words for the question. Okay, at home for practice, do this on paper. In the exam, do this in your head. All right? Okay, so let's get back to it. Try it a couple times, okay? A couple times. So here we go. In which month and year was Armstrong first diagnosed with cancer? Okay, paraphrase this question for me and change it into a statement. Okay, Narinder, if you cannot see the board clearly, it should be very, very clear. But if you cannot see it clearly, change your YouTube resolution to 720p and reload your page. Okay? Arda says this one should be the time Armstrong had cancer. Okay? Sony, I am giving you a basic idea about the reading section right now. Okay, so just follow with the lesson. And please only write your question once into the chat. Okay, thank you. All right. So number 29, paraphrase this for me. All right, change it to a statement. Let's do this a couple of times. All right. Alak says Armstrong suffered from cancer in January 1990, for example. Okay, don't answer the question so much, Alak. Just kind of leave that part open. So, yeah, you have the right idea. Yeah, okay, so Shearing just replaced it with XXXXX. So he was first found out about his cancer in space. Okay, so cancer was discovered in Armstrong in month, year. Okay, so I would just quickly paraphrase like this. Cancer was discovered in Armstrong in month, year. Okay, so don't overthink it. Yeah, Nick Hill says Armstrong begins suffering with cancer in the month and year. Okay. Harjinder says, what was the month when he got cancer? Harjinder, change the question to a statement because you're not going to see a question in the reading passage. You're going to see a statement. Okay, so you want to train your thinking to convert questions into statements. Is everybody clear on that? When we see a question, our brain remains in the question format. So it's easy to kind of miss or overlook the actual statement in the passage. But when you train your thinking to convert questions into statements, then you basically train your mind to much more easily catch the statement form of the idea. Does everybody kind of get what I'm saying with that? So Alak says that's clear. So clear. Artist says very clear. Okay, good. Yeah. Yeah, so Shahil says Armstrong first noticed cancer in. A very good, Shahil. So that would be perfect. Okay. All right. So number 30, what fashion accessory did Armstrong popularize? Okay. Akshay says Armstrong became popular by wearing. Akshay, that does not paraphrase this. That's a different idea. So careful. Okay. Popularize means that Armstrong made it popular. Okay. So Armstrong made this accessory popular. Okay, so Armstrong made this accessory popular. You can actually take out the this, whatever this is. Okay, so Armstrong made this accessory popular. Yeah, artist said the same thing. Okay, Morna, it's not that Armstrong is popular, it's that Armstrong made this accessory popular. So Armstrong popularized. Popularize is the verb, to make popular. Okay, so right now I'm using an Artline 5190A supersized chisel head whiteboard marker. It works fantastic for teachers because it's got a very wide tip, so you can write really nice and big letters with it. So right now what I'm doing is I'm popularizing this whiteboard marker. Okay, I'm not making myself popular, I'm making this popular with my words and my explanation. Okay, that's what popularize means, to make popular. Okay. All right, who was the first person to accuse Armstrong of cheating? He was the first to blame Armstrong for doping. Okay, so we talked about doping, using those illegal drugs. That might be the right idea. So again, that's how I paraphrase it. Okay. How many Tour de France titles is Armstrong currently credited with? At the moment, Armstrong holds this number of Tour de France titles. Okay, for those of you into biking, Tour de France is the pinnacle of road cycling trophies. All right, so this is what we do. So we paraphrase, and again, at home, you do it on paper. During the exam, you do it in your mind. Okay, so Harjinder says he holds this number of Tour de France titles. Okay, good. So you're converting questions into answers. Awesome. Perfect. Great. Everybody's clear on that. Okay, let's look at some other questions here. See what's going on. And then we'll get a deeper understanding of the passage. Okay. So questions 33 to 36, complete each sentence with the correct ending, A to F below. Write the correct letter A to F in boxes 33 to 36. Armstrong maintained his innocence for. Armstrong defended his actions by. Though he was once a hero, Armstrong's legacy is now. Armstrong, like everyone, is. Okay. So I have 4 sentence starts, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sentence finishes. 2 of these are unclear, not in the passage, wrong. I don't know which 2. So I'm not going to read these because that might confuse me. Okay. And then my last set of questions, 37 to 40, is the writer mentions a number of Lance Armstrong's accomplishments. Which 4 of the following accomplishments are mentioned by the author? So we're looking for 4 mentions. And whoa, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 choices. So 6 of these, 6 are wrong or not in the passage. So I'm not going to read all those, okay? It's a waste of my time because I don't know which 4 the author mentions. And if I read all of these now, I'm going to get confused. I will forget which ones the author is mentioning. So I'm not going to read these, okay? Instead, what I do is I go back and I read the passage. Now, before I begin reading the passage here, okay, so I'm doing a good job. I read the title, I inferenced the text, I looked at the questions, I did some paraphrasing, and now I'm ready to read. In the real exam, I took maybe 2 minutes so far, 3 minutes. Before I read this, what should I do? Okay. So before I get into reading this clearly, not quickly, not skimming, not just scanning, but actually reading it, I got about 8, 9 minutes, 10 minutes to read it. Okay. What should I remember to do? There's one really important step here before I read on. Okay. What is it? So what should I do? All right, let me go a little bit back up here. What do I do? Jitanjali, I don't care about the successes and failures of his career right there. Dan says, guess the content. I already did that. Adele, I'm not scanning the questions because there could be way too much paraphrasing. Some of the answers could be at the end, so that's not going to work. Okay. Nick Hill says, visualize. Yes. What do you mean, Nick Hill? Can you give us a little bit more help? So yes, I should visualize, absolutely, right? I mean, the big hint here is this giant picture, right? Sometimes you get that in the IELTS. When you see a big picture like that, it's kind of reminding the reader that, yeah, you should try to see what you're reading in this case, okay? All right? Zakra, don't skim. Zakra, you're not going to be able to do well if you're looking for keywords because the author will be paraphrasing the keywords, okay? All right? So, yeah, very good, Arda. So Arda says, just first visualize and think about yourself as Lance Armstrong, okay? So engage the reading, all right? It's a very important strategy. We call it step 3 today. Okay, so very important strategy. Engage the reading by visualizing and becoming part of the information. Okay, the brain loves to participate. Okay, so when you trick your brain into thinking that it is the information, it will be much more effective in calculating, understanding, comprehending, even if you don't know all the words, even if not all of the grammar is clear, your brain will work much, much, much better and much harder to figure out and understand it when it feels that it's part of the information. Is that clear, everyone? That's a really important tip for reading, okay? All, not some, all great readers are active readers and are actively engaged in the information that they read, okay? Is that clear? So does everybody understand what I'm saying there? So in this case, I am Lance Armstrong, and this is the story of my life. Okay? It helps if you know how to ride a bicycle, for sure. Mohammed says, yes, Carolina. Thumbs up. Narendra says, the brain loves to be an active participant. Absolutely. Okay? So, here, it's unfortunate because many people forget that because of social media and TV and so much visual content that we forget how much our brain actually loves to be a part of the information. Okay, but it really does. Our brain loves to be a part of the information. So here we go, everyone. Let's do this now. So imagine you are Lance Armstrong. Visualize this and let's read together. Okay. So the rise and fall of Lance Armstrong. Here we go. Lance Armstrong is known for many things: cycling, philanthropy, surviving cancer. But unfortunately, his most significant legacy may be his cheating. A 7-time winner of cycling's most prized race, the Tour de France, Armstrong's fall from celebrated athlete and inspirational human being to disgraced cheater is an unfortunate example of the pluses and minuses of the human spirit. Okay, so I have had quite the incredible life. I have been cycling. I have helped people from the kindness of my heart, philanthropy. I even fought off cancer, and unfortunately, I've even cheated in cycling. Okay. Let's learn about my life a little bit. So here we go. Read with me. And again, students, this is reading, so read along with me, read aloud. Don't just listen, because then it's just a listening exercise. This is a reading exercise. So you have about 8 to 10 minutes in the IELTS exam to comfortably read the passage, okay? You can still have lots of time to skim and scan for answers after, but the idea is to understand as much of the passage as possible. So here we go. Visualize. Born in Texas in 1971, Lance Armstrong began cycling competitively at 13 years old. Originally a triathlete, Armstrong quit swimming and running in favor of his best discipline, cycling. Considered a favorite to win the road race at the 1992 Olympics in Barcelona, he instead finished a disappointing 14th. Soon after, he began to race professionally. And it was very soon after, in 1993, that he won his first major cycling event, the World Road Race Championships in Norway. It is unclear whether he won it cleanly or whether he was cheating even then. In 1996, Armstrong's life changed. In October of that year, he was diagnosed with testicular cancer, which had spread throughout his body, even to his brain. He was 50-50 at best to survive. Bucking the odds, Armstrong survived and made it known publicly that he would race again. While the doubters were many, Armstrong privately persevered. Less than 3 years after the diagnosis, Armstrong won the Tour de France. He was immediately lionized and treated as a hero. He became an icon and an inspiration for those struggling with cancer, because he was an example of how a person could not only overcome cancer, but thrive after doing so. Armstrong started the Live Strong Foundation in 1997 in order to improve the lives of cancer survivors and those affected by cancer. After his cycling victories, the foundation found much success, eliciting tens of millions of dollars in donations and entering a little yellow bracelet into the public consciousness. Over 80 million yellow bracelets were sold, with proceeds going directly to the foundation. The yellow bracelet became a symbol of cancer support and survival, and no matter what Armstrong's negative deeds, the money he helped to raise has done untold good in the cancer community. Armstrong would go on to win 6 more Tour de France competitions, giving him an unprecedented 7 consecutive victories. Having retired from cycling in 2005, he focused his efforts on his foundation and his family. It would not be long, however, before the storm clouds began to approach. Okay, so far we're reading, and again, I really hope that you're visualizing. It's not just out there, but you are Lance Armstrong. So I have won the Tour de France. I've had testicular cancer. I survived it. I created a foundation. I raised millions of dollars. I even created a little yellow bracelet that sold 80 million units. And I won the Tour de France 6 more times. Okay, great. Now here we go. As early as 2001, there were whispers that not all was right with Armstrong's seemingly inhuman abilities. But it was not until 2010 when Armstrong's former teammate Floyd Landis, a Tour de France champion himself and admitted cheater, accused Armstrong of cheating. The charges were investigated, and eventually more voices came forward in support of Landis's accusation. Armstrong continued to deny the allegations. In August 2012, he was stripped of all his Tour de France titles due to overwhelming evidence that he had participated in a vast blood doping conspiracy. He was a cheater. Armstrong maintained his innocence for several more months until finally admitting that he had, in fact, cheated. He cited his ruthless desire to win as the main reason for taking illegal performance-enhancing drugs. Lance Armstrong's legacy is muddy. Once an inspiration and a hero to many, he is now merely another cheater who would go to any length to win. But his philanthropic success cannot be taken away from him, and it would be unfair to dismiss all of his accomplishments because of his mistakes. Armstrong is a flawed person who was trying to do his best. Like all of us, he is human. All right. So here we go. Stefan Harsh is asking, hey Adrian, are the tests within Cambridge books generally easier than the actual exam? Because that's what I've been told. Stefan, no. If you're doing the Cambridge past papers, the IELTS books from 1 to, I think it's 15 right now, then those are actual past IELTS exams. So they're the exact same difficulty as the real IELTS, okay? All right. Okay, so that's the passage. Now, here we go. So we come back to these questions, and ideally, in a perfect world, you're not searching for all your answers, okay? If you're searching for all of your answers in the passage, you're in trouble, all right? At least half of the answers you should be confident answering without referencing the passage again. So the first question here is, in which city did Armstrong participate in the Olympic Games? Okay, so which city? Lance Armstrong, Olympic Games. I remember he finished 14th. Jack Williams says, yeah, I remember that. That was an easy visualization there. It's beautiful Spain, of course. Okay. All right, it was Barcelona, right? If you don't remember how to spell it, check that, but at least you know it's Barcelona, and you remember it was early on, right? So early, here we go. 1992 Olympics in Barcelona. So I'm just checking for the spelling if I don't know it. If I know the spelling of Barcelona, all the better, then I really don't have to worry about it. But do make sure that you have the correct spelling, okay? So I'm not searching for this answer. I'm just looking for the spelling. I know exactly where it is, okay? Okay, now this one here, so number 29, in this month and year, Lance Armstrong was diagnosed with cancer. So I don't remember that specifically, okay? But I do remember that it's coming from around the end of the first third of the paragraph. And I know that I'm looking for month and year. So this is a specific question that I will have to look at the text for, okay? Alak says, I remember, because that was really significant. So Alak says it was 1996 October. And I do remember, interestingly, I didn't remember the exact year, but I remembered that I was born in 1971. I don't know if anybody else remembered that. I was born in 1971, and I remembered that I was 25 years old when I got cancer here. So I didn't remember the year exactly, but I remembered the birth, and I was like, oh gosh, I'm only 25 years old, and I've got this cancer diagnosis. So of course, that would mean 1996, right? Now, I don't remember the month, but I'm able to figure out the year. And how do I do this? Again, with active reading. Is everybody clear on that? So the text, the passage didn't actually say Lance Armstrong was only 25 years old when he was diagnosed with cancer, but I kind of thought about that when I read this. Anybody else think about that? Like, anybody else actively think like, oh my goodness, I'm only 25 years old and I've got this issue, this serious medical issue. So I remembered my birth year, right? I don't know how many of you remembered that. So it says right here, born in Texas in 1971, right? And then I was like, oh, 25 years old, and life changed. And it says in October of that year, okay? So now I have the right answer. And again, it's not just skimming and scanning, but it's much, much faster than that because I'm actively able to reference, okay? So that's active reading, all right? That's the power of active reading. So in which month and year? You can write 1996. So you could just write that for your answer. 10th month, 1996, okay? Or if you want to go for the word, you could say Oct, 1996. You don't need the full word. Abbreviations are acceptable for months in the IELTS exam. So that's absolutely a correct answer, and the examiner will give that to you, okay? So Oct, 1996. All right. Okay, what fashion accessory did Armstrong popularize? Alak, Arpit. So Alak says yellow bracelet. So again, number 30, that's not a question you should be searching for. Okay? You should know that. July says yellow bracelet, and bracelet is not enough. Okay? And they said a little yellow bracelet, but I don't want to include the word little because it says no more than 2 words and or a number. So here it's just 2 words, okay? So little yellow bracelet would be 3 words, so I have to just keep yellow bracelet. Okay, number 31. Who was the first person to accuse Armstrong of cheating? I remember it was another cyclist. I think his name was something like Landis, but I can't quite remember. So I just remember the kind of the land part of it. Landos, Landis. So that I can look for. And again, I remember that it was kind of in the beginning, or sorry, near the end for this one. Okay. So here, 2001, there were whispers that not everything was right. And then it was 2010 when former teammate Floyd Landis, so there's the correct spelling. Make sure you get the correct spelling for the name. Floyd Landis. So Floyd Landis. Okay. All right. So once again, remember that even if you're like, well, the only way I can finish in 20 minutes is if I'm if I'm skimming and scanning. Remember that even skimming and scanning is much faster when you read the passage. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Okay. All right. Okay, last question. How many Tour de France titles is Armstrong currently credited with? Remember my paraphrase? At the moment, Armstrong holds this many Tour de France titles. So what is the answer for this last one, 32? Right now, how many Tour de France titles does Lance Armstrong have? Jack, Kabita, both say 0. Oh, no worries, Akbar. I'm healthy. I go running. I don't do cycling. I run. Yesterday I ran 10K. Jackie Noguta says none. None works. Gurjivan says 0. Yeah. 0 is good. Okay. Or none is good as well. He used to have 7. Now he has 0. Okay, all of those titles were given out to all the second place finishers, right? So none, not 1. All of his 7 Tour de France titles were taken away from him. So currently Lance Armstrong has 0 Tour de France titles. Wow, that's painful, but it's the reality. Nil zip. Okay. All right, so complete each sentence with the correct ending A to F below. Write the correct letter A to F in boxes 33 to 36 on your answer sheet, okay? Number 33, so here the trick or the strategy is always to finish with your own words first. So number 33, Armstrong maintained his innocence for how long? I remember this because I was thinking, oh boy, I have to keep this lie going for this long. And of course, the media, the public, and everybody's saying, hey, you're cheating, you're cheating. And I'm like, no, I'm not, no, I'm not. So how long did Armstrong maintain his innocence for? Think about the answer on your own first. Don't search the answers, because if you're searching the answers, you could easily get tricked or fooled by a wrong answer. So July says innocence for some months. Yep, that's what I remember. Ali says for 3 years. I think it was like where he was officially accused in 2010, where they were like, you're cheating, you were doping. I'm pretty sure I remember for like months and months, I was like, no, I'm not. Okay, after like 6 or 7 months, I'm like, okay, I admit it. I cheated. So for some months, for sure, at least. Let's see. Eliciting tens of millions of dollars? No. A hero for those battling? Can? No. Not perfect. Made mistakes? No. Unclear, since he was not a cheater, but he did a lot of good. That's weird. A long time, though he eventually admitted his guilt. Claiming he had an innate desire to win. So the best answer here is E, right? Okay. The best answer is E. So I maintained my innocence for a long time, but then eventually I said, yeah, I'm guilty. Okay. Number 34. Armstrong defended his actions by, so basically here I'm saying, okay, and this is the paraphrase, is I cheated because okay, so how would you finish this sentence? I cheated because I think many of us will have the same idea here. I cheated because I what? Okay, July, very good. July, you're doing exactly what I expect everyone to do, is finish with your own idea. So July says, because I want to win. Yeah, exactly. So I cheated because I really want to win. And everybody else is cheating anyways. No, he didn't say that, but unfortunately, that's not everybody, but many. Okay. D. Barack says, because I have a huge urge for winning. Yeah, very good. So make it your own, D. Barack. Yeah, Carolina, I want to win. So I cheated because I really want to win. All right. That was his reason, right? Don't we all? It's no reason to cheat. So which one of these is the most accurate? Well, F looks good. Claiming he had an innate desire to win. So I really wanted to win. Innate means like I'm born with it. I just can't. I gotta win. I gotta win. I gotta win. Okay. So F is going to be the right answer. Okay. Um, 35. Though he was once a hero, Armstrong's legacy is now, well, murky, muddy, jaded, destroyed, ruined, lost. Okay, so all of those words would finish this sentence well. Though he was once a hero, Armstrong's legacy is now lost. It's now destroyed. Okay. So let's see if anything matches there. Okay. Eliciting tens of millions. A hero for those not perfect and has made mistakes. That's unclear since he was a cheater, but he did a lot of good. Okay, so that looks like the best answer. It's unclear since he was a cheater, but he did do a lot of good. So the best answer for 35 is D. Okay. And this last one, 36, Armstrong, like everyone, is human. That's how I would answer that one. Okay, and then there I'm looking for the matching answer. What does it mean to be human? It means to be not perfect and make mistakes. Okay, so I would say that that one is C. Humans are not perfect. We make mistakes. It's the way we handle those mistakes that makes us incredible. Okay, Armstrong, like everyone else, is not perfect and has made mistakes. All right, so I would go with that. Okay, so again, you have to finish on your own and then match the answer that matches your idea the best. All right, that's what you need to do. Okay, now this one is a question where you really have to get the answer by understanding the passage. If you're trying to search for these, you're really going to be in trouble. It's going to take you way too long. So here, which four of the following accomplishments are mentioned by the author? A, he won the Norwegian Cycling Championships. B, he won for a time 6 Tour de France titles. C, he became an inspiration for those trying to overcome cancer. D, his foundation earned tens of millions of dollars in donations. E, he was stripped of all his cycling titles for cheating. F, he began cycling competitively at 13 years old. G, he won the World Road Race Championship. H, his legacy is muddy. I, he won many races, including the Olympic road race. J, he won for a time 7 Tour de France titles. Okay, so you get this by understanding the passage. He won the Norwegian Cycling Championship. Okay. That one he did. All right. B, he won for a time 6. No, because he won 7. So J is the one he did, right? He became an inspiration for people trying to overcome cancer. Certainly, that's something that he accomplished. D, his foundation earned tens of millions of dollars in donations. That's maybe an accomplishment of his foundation through him. Okay. He was stripped of all of his cycling titles. That's not an accomplishment. Okay, that's the opposite. He began cycling competitively. That's not an accomplishment. That's just something you do. He won the World Road Race Championships. That seems like a correct one too. So this one, I'm not sure which is better, Norwegian Cycling Championships or World Road Race. I'll have to check that. Okay. His legacy is muddy. That's not an accomplishment. He did not win the Olympic race. So right now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the two that I'm not sure of are this one, the Norwegian, or the World Road Race, because I know it can only be one of them. So I'm going to go back and check the text for that one. Okay. And I remember that was in like 1993 or something. So here, soon after he began to race professionally, and it was very soon after, in 1993, that he won his first major road race event, the World Road Race Championships in Norway. So this event is called the World Road Race Championships in Norway. Okay, so now I know that the correct answer is not the Norwegian Cycling Championships, but the G, World Road Race Championships. So not this one. Okay, so by understanding the passage and eliminating, I know that the correct answers here are C, D, G, and J. Okay, so hopefully everybody sees how I did that. Okay, all right, everybody's got it. C, D, G, and J. So hopefully that's clear. Okay, everyone, so that's a reading passage for either the academic or general IELTS third section. Okay, general IELTS section 1 and section 2 are a little bit different, but general IELTS section 3 and academic IELTS passage 1, 2, 3 are just like this. All right, so active reading, becoming a part of the information, predicting the information, approaching questions correctly. These are all strategies that you have to practice before your IELTS exam and use on your IELTS exam. Skimming and scanning alone are a waste of time. They will not lead to great scores. Searching for keywords alone will not help you enough. Okay, there's too much paraphrasing. Make sure to read regularly, and for lots more help with the IELTS exam, check us out at ahelp.com for academic IELTS and gieltshelp.com for general IELTS. Again, this is a one-time payment for lifetime access, so you just click that big red button to join our premium package. For the academic, it's a blue background, and just click that big red button there. You're very welcome, Kyber. I hope the situation gets better for you in your neck of the woods. Pachu, you're absolutely welcome. Much love back at you in Kabul. All right. Ali, I am not working as an examiner at the moment. Alak, great job in the class today. Arda, fantastic work. Keep up the good job, everybody. I'll be back tomorrow with task 2 for members, completing the essay we started today, and task 1 for everybody. That will be a bar chart. So make sure to come back tomorrow, and we'll work through it together. Keep up the good studies. Stay safe and healthy until then. Much love to all of you from beautiful Victoria here on the west coast of Canada. I'm Adrian. Bye for now.